Record types. Let's try and understand what record types are. Record types are a way using which we can segregate the data between two different set of teams or set of users. So basically record type helps us in limiting the pick list values. So let's say you have a pick list field and team A needs 5 values and team B needs 10 values. So using the same pick list field on the object, we can segregate those pick list values between team A and team B, and the ones you assign to team A would be visible only to team A, and the ones that you assign to team B would only be visible to team B. Also, by using record types, we can create page layouts. So the page layout that you would assign to record type A for team A, that can be totally different from the record type which has been assigned to team B. That way, the look and feel can change completely for two different teams. So what is the use case of this particular functionality in Salesforce? So why would somebody go and create a record type in Salesforce? So the first and foremost use case here is that it is very helpful in scenarios where you have global teams. So in that case, you can differentiate the pick list values and keeping a single field which has, let's say, in total 20 values, but 5 are visible to the Asia team, the other 5 are visible to US team, and similarly there are, let's say, 8 which are visible to UK team. It's not necessary that these values are unique in each of these regions, can be same as well. So let's say, take an example of 5 values, let's say A, B, C, D and E. So then we only want to show A, B and C to the Asian zone. That can happen. And to the European zone we want to show A, D and E. So that is also possible. And for the US zone we want to show B, C, D, E. So that is also possible, right? So, or you can have totally unique values for each of them as well, but you would still use the same pick list field. So this is the advantage, that you don't create a new field, but you just create a record type, and that way you'll have separate page layouts for each of them, and the look and feel improvises, and in the end the data also gets improvised based on record types. So let's see how can we create a record type in Salesforce. So first we go onto our favorite place called setup. Then we go to object manager, select the object where we want to create the record type, and then we go to the record type menu from here and click new. So by default, any object that you would have in Salesforce, be it a standard object or a custom object you create, you would by default have a master record type, and that is always there. But when you create a new record type, you would see that coming through as well. So let's call this record type 1, right? We'll get the API name, and then let's make it available for everybody for the time being. You can limit who do you want to make it available to. So then, let's say you just want to make it available for the profile which is, let's say, your US team. Then you can just do it that way, make it visible just to them and not anybody else, right? And once you make it available, you can make it default as well. Since this is the first record type, the moment you make it available, it would become default for everybody, right? So this is what happens when you create the first record type, it gets overlapped with master, right? Then we select a page layout. Let's say we select the account layout, and we can assign it. We can also assign a different page layout for each profile. So I'll show you the matrix of page layout, how it would look like, but for an understanding, you can assign a same layout for all the profiles, or you can have a different page layout for each profile as well. Let's keep one for all for now and click save, right? So now the moment we created the record type, we have got all the pick list fields available for editing. So now let's pick industry, and in record type 1 I just want to have like the first ones until C, right? And we can make any of these default, but I'm not making anyone default for now. I'm just keeping a small chunk here in the record type one. Right now, if you go to accounts here, and if you try to create a new account, by default it would pick the record type one, because we just have one record type right now. Now you would question, when there was a master one already, so why I'm not seeing two options. So this is a Salesforce feature. The moment you create the first record type, the master gets hidden and it's not available in the selection here, right? So you can, do you see that only consulting, only A, B, C are available and the other picklist values are not available. Now let's go and create another record type here, and then we see the difference, right? So let's call it record type 2, and we'll activate it as well. And now when I make it available for everybody, this time I get an option to select to which one to make default, right? In this scenario, you are saying, you can see that record type 1 is default for everybody, right? Let's say for system admin I want to make this default and not for anyone else. Let's do it, save. Let's select a different page layout, and I'll show you the difference then in the view as well, right? Right, so we have two record types created for us now. Let's go to the record type 2 and change the industry value here. Right. So in this case, we'll remove the top ones, and let's just minimize this list a little more so that it becomes easier for us to see the difference, right? So it gets easier to understand the difference when the values are smaller. Let's have a look. So this time when I go on account and create new, now you see there are two options. It says record type 1 or record type 2. Why do you see record type 2 is selected here? Because I selected record type 2 as a default for my profile, right? That's why it is pre-selected. Let's see record type 2 what happens. So where is the industry field? There it is. And now you see the picklist values are different here. So this is very useful. Now let's go to the page layout for a moment. Let's go to the page layout, and for record type 2 we selected marketing page layout, right? So here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a small change, so which is very visible straight away. So what I've done is I've got the address bar to the top and moved the rest of the section to the bottom. So this would clearly help us differentiate the two different page layouts in the UI, right? So let's go back here. Let's do a refresh. Always, in Lightning, prefer refreshing your page, because Lightning uses a lot of caches and cookies. So most of the time your page would get loaded from your browser itself rather than coming straight from the server. So it's better to refresh. And if you are not able to see your change in the page, then I've shown you earlier as well, go to inspect, right? And then when you do a right click on the top, you would see an option of empty cache and hard reload. So you can click that, and that would basically clear your cache and load it straight from the server. So that would help. Right, so let's click new. Let's go to the record type view and see, we still don't see the difference here, right? Let's just double check what we have created. So I said that I'll show you the page layout assignment as well, the matrix. So let's look at that, right? So here you see we have master record type 1 and record type 2, and for record type 2 we have the account support layout instead of marketing. That's why the change there, when we selected, we couldn't see it, right? So let's do that change again. This time I'm bringing the information section to the top, so the three layouts look different to each other, right? And yeah, let's bring the system information to the top as well, but this would not be visible in the edit section. This would only be visible in the details side. right? Let's do a hard refresh once again, and then we'll go and look at our pages, right? Anyways, let's try and save a record. Let's call it right. Let's save this record on RecordType 2 with one of the industry values that we have chosen, and then obviously the website cannot be. See, we can see the difference. The account information has come to the top, right? And the address information is here. This is the additional information, so there is some header change here, right? And you see the website was somewhere here, which we don't see anymore here, and we don't see yeah, here is the website, so here it has come, right? Now we click save. So this is RecordType 2, and here, I told you the system information will only be in the details side. So here it has come up on the top. This is RecordType 2. Let's create RecordType 1 as well, and then I'll show you side by side for type 1 record, and let's pick one of the industry fields. So you see, this time the industry field is here, the website is here. And in the previous one, the website was on the was here, right? So that's the difference in the page layout, right? So you are using two different page layouts here, right? So this is RecordType 1, and here you see the account owner. The website comes here, and the created by information is at the bottom, right? Whilst when we had the other RecordType, right, in here, the page layout is different, right? So this is what happens. This is the advantage of using RecordTypes, that you can have, using the same field, you can have different values available to different set of users, and you can have different UI as well, so you can change the page layout for them, right? So that's what you can do. Just one step that's coming to my mind, that is that you can edit the page layouts here, and you can, it's not necessary for that for one record type you need to have the same layout for all the profiles. You can have a different layout for each profile actually. So I can change it here, right? So for each profile you can have a different page layout within the same record type as well. So that is totally possible. So this is what record types are. If you have any questions, you can join the QA session, which happens every Friday, and please drop in your comments, feedback, and any questions in the comment section, and I'll get back to you.